What if America's greatest allies turned against it? September 2025. Operation Iron Reprisal is underway. 31 NATO nations launch a full-scale invasion of the United States. Their goal isn't occupation, it's disruption. Break the U.S. military command and force a surrender before things escalate. How did we get here? In this fictional scenario, the U.S. has just quit NATO, pulling out of all its European bases and cutting off access to shared military systems. No more American satellites, no more intelligence feeds, and critically, no more GPS. So NATO moves fast, planning the most ambitious coalition strike in modern history. The twist? They trained together for decades. Now they're using the same playbook against each other. The mission is simple on paper: force a U.S. surrender without mass civilian casualties or nuclear weapons. It's all about speed and surgical strikes. NATO gives a 96-hour warning, and then, under total radio silence, their fleets set sail. But a huge problem becomes clear almost immediately. Without U.S. support, NATO is flying half-blind. They're stuck with Europe's Galileo GPS system, which is slower and easier to jam. Their top-tier gear, like F-35s and Blackhawks, depends on U.S. parts and maintenance they can't get in the field. Still, they push forward from staging grounds in Greenland, Iceland, and Canada. The invasion force splits into 3 thrusts. The main landing hits the Virginia coast, targeting Naval Station Norfolk, the largest naval base on Earth. A second force strikes Florida to capture Eglin Air Force Base, and a third pushes south from Canada into Maine and Michigan. Before sunrise, the East Coast lights up. Cruise missiles slam into American air bases. But the U.S. reacts instantly. Patriot missile batteries and Aegis destroyers intercept the first waves. F-22 Raptors scream into the sky over Virginia. Within hours, the 82nd Airborne is locking down critical roads. A French ship lags behind the main convoy, exposed. A U.S. submarine lurking in the Atlantic takes the shot. Hundreds of troops never even make it to the beach. As NATO forces hit the coast, they're already bleeding. From inland positions, U.S. HIMARS launch precision rockets into the landing zones. Apache helicopters pick off stalled vehicles. B-1 bombers, flying from Texas, launch long-range anti-ship missiles into the convoy. Amphibious transports take direct hits, and armor sinks before it can even roll onto the shore. Then the cyber war begins. NATO hits the East Coast's infrastructure hard. Power grids falter. 911 systems are flooded with fake calls and banks stall. But U.S. Cyber Command was ready for this. They isolate the infected networks and switch to hardened backup communication lines. Then, they fire back. Undersea cables linking Europe begin to fail. Galileo satellite signals degrade. NATO command centers lose contact with their forward units. The cyber attack doesn't buy NATO an advantage. It just speeds up their collapse. By day 4, the geography is turning against them. The Virginia coastline is full of choke points, bogging down their armor. Meanwhile, America's internal road and rail network is fully operational, moving troops and supplies with unmatched speed. Abrams tanks and Paladin artillery roll in from across the country. U.S. submarines are sinking several cargo ships every single night. NATO holds small pieces of the coast, but they fail to secure a deep-water port. Without it, there's no resupply. They're running on fumes. Then, the U.S. counteroffensive begins. 3 full-armored divisions surge toward Norfolk. HIMARS batter NATO's rear positions. French and German tanks fight hard, but their air support is gone. Their communications are jammed and their logistics are finished. There's nowhere left to run. The NATO beachhead collapses. The remaining ships retreat, hunted by U.S. submarines all the way back across the Atlantic. The war is over. NATO's reliance on American tech backfired, their supply lines were severed, and America's home field advantage proved insurmountable. Thanks so much for watching. It's a fascinating thought experiment. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. See you in the next video.